Hello, fabulous fans and superstars of my dear friend Nadiya Shah. I am Yuriria Robles and I wish you a very happy 2025. Welcome to the predictions for each sign for the month of January 2025. Remember to check your sun sign, your ascendant, and your moon sign so that you have a more complete prediction. Aquarius, congratulations! Second year that you complete with Pluto in your sign. As we have already mentioned, it is about allowing yourself a complete and total transformation, free of resistance, which for you, in all honesty, is a challenge. It is not about clinging to fixed thoughts and ideas. You already do that. You know it and you are it. Now it is about flowing and understanding so many other ideas that may be better than yours, and once you take ownership of them, you will find even better ones. So, as incredible as it may seem, don't hold on to any of them, but rather enjoy the fact that for a long time you will have the opportunity to learn, experience, and live new forms of intelligence, some of which will have a way of being applied in reality, others will not, which does not mean that they are not valuable, but that they are too advanced for the moment. The solar journey in Aquarius during this period imposes discipline and order and strategy, which is why we pay attention to our goals and to what we want to achieve during the year. We all know it, but it doesn't hurt to remember it. Everything requires discipline. Also, with the sun in your sign, let's keep in mind that as a team, we go further and sooner. The month begins with a tense dialogue imposed by the Moon-Pluto conjunction in your sign in exact opposition to Mars, which means a work of action and confrontation, establishing a power struggle between you and your partner or associates that proposes a balanced interaction between everyone. Your partner or associates insist on acting creatively. You must take their proposal into account. You must show intelligence and discipline to control your obsession with the new. The strength is in the dialogue. As Mars is in a period of retrogradation, on the 6th it re-enters Cancer to move its dialogue with the Sun in Capricorn, turning your attention towards the goals you wanted to achieve by protecting what gives you security. Mars returns to the work area and to the care of your digestive health. This dialogue generates anxiety and tension because moving towards the achievement of goals implies leaving the past behind, and that is scary, especially on the 13th when the full moon occurs together with this Mars, strengthening the old values that may you get to where you are will feel that the goals and paths to improve put at risk what has been achieved. In all honesty, it will be a challenge because with this dialogue, you can find a refusal to negotiate. Feelings are hidden to then later on explode with a Plutonian force. You have to recognize what helps you and what prevents you from getting along with others. The sooner you do it, the greater the transformation that the exact opposition with Mars indicates. In other words, we can avoid power struggles for prominence, leadership, and the demand to conform to what is established. It is not a minor task, and please do not shy away from confronting yourself first, because no confrontation, no matter how small or large, will be useful if you do not first review what you have inside. Let me explain. If you have a rejection to be part of the group, investigate if it was because of the way you were treated in the family group when you were little or young, or on the contrary, if you believe that you were special for being the smallest or the only one in the family. You learn to survive in each case in that way, but now reality imposes that you realize that it is about being an individual with conscience, that you cannot conform, but you cannot demand that everyone do it your way either. With the nodes of the moon, a mystical rectangle is formed, a figure that results from the distance between these planets and the nodes, and whenever these points are involved, it is about relationships with others. This month, They are in Aries Libra axis, which has required an effort to negotiate between what we can and want to do and how we come to an agreement to negotiate with others. In this rectangle, it is pointed out to you that what you achieve in this task is determined by destiny, and that if you achieve it, that is, forgive and act with consideration, it will be useful to you now and forever. And if you do not achieve it, you will lose a lesson, but not the experience of your actions and consequences. The year begins with this discipline transformation. We owe it to ourselves and to others, of course. Incoherence is to go into dispute, not against whoever did it, but against whoever pays it, without resolving anything. The moon will move, but Pluto's aspect to Mars will impose its dialogue for at least the first 5 months of the year, since Mars will still return 20 degrees to 17 degrees of Cancer, and it will take all that time for this requirement to be concluded. Although in February, March, we will feel a break from, and April and May we will go back to review what we learned and what we achieved in living with others. Let's look at the conditions of Saturn at this time, which for now is in a tense dialogue with Jupiter, which indicates a conflict between what we say we want to do and what we can really do. Above all, because of what we said or were told last month with Mercury retrograde. It is very important to be realistic and at the same time allow the circle of communication, that is, to listen and to speak, to recognize what is possible and what is not. So Saturn, your ruling planet, insists that you be measured in your resources and imagine how they could be increased, and avoid compensatory expenses for your intellectual rudeness, but do not restrict them completely either. Value that others have feelings like you, and that expressing and sharing them with maturity is the learning of the times. Above all, because the nodes will move to the axis Pisces Virgo at the end of the month, you will have to accept that you also have feelings and transformation, making it necessary for you to express your true feelings without falling into drama and victimization. This learning will be valid for 18 months. Also, the tense dialogue that you maintain between your resources and your loved ones leads you to one extreme to spend by talking too much and dispersing your resources, and on the other extreme to fall into gossip and feel incapable of expressing because what they say to you hurts you. Be patient and realize what it is about. It's learning how to express true feelings, but in a light and playful manner, free of drama and resentment. Another issue that you must consider is to respect the creativity of your partners and spouse, allowing them or you to act creatively with your partner and spouse. This will be coherent, since the easiest and most useless thing is to fall into power struggles that lead to nothing more than emphasizing a warlike environment where everyone loses. In reference to love, Venus is ending its passage in your sign and will move on the third to Pisces, where its energy is expressed gently, thus imposing its logic of romance and idealism. You will have before you the challenge of commitment, because on the 18th, Venus reaches your ruling planet Saturn, and a harmonious dialogue with Mars is established, emphasizing with this the love of the past and at the same time the love of the new, because Uranus imposes a brief harmonic link towards the end of the month, when on the 28th Venus reaches the degree to which it will return in its retrograde period in March and April. On the 29th, it reaches Neptune in Pisces, and the North Node also enters this sign. So all this means a great idealization, a longing for love and desire that surpasses all imagination. On the non-coherent side, it means a great sacrifice and detachment from reality. In your case, it can also manifest itself as a great business, something ideal and fantastic, but in reality you will have to use all your intelligence in order not to fall into a scheme that seems very easy and in the end will demand great commitment and attention from you. Pay close attention. This movement to Pisces is emphasized by the North Node that will remain in Pisces for 18 months with its counterpart, the South Node in Virgo. This change affects relationships that will insatiably seek this idealization that is natural to the North Node in Pisces, but it will be considerably enhanced by the conjunction of Venus and Neptune. Growth and order are configured by Jupiter in Gemini and Saturn in Pisces. This supposes a conflict of possibilities. It seems that communication problems with children or lovers may arise. Do not fall into gossip. Put things in order by being mature and responsible. The dilemma is to change or continue as you are, and Mars in Cancer is emphasizing the attachment to the past. On the other hand, Pluto imposes its orientation towards the future, making the choice even more tense and complex. The dilemma is to take a risk or deny an opportunity. To reconcile this work, this is a process that will be in effect until mid-year. The full moon on the 13th leads you to fine-tune the work and labor structures that you have implemented. You are intelligent enough to safeguard what you have. Just consider that a review of these activities can be useful. Review them intelligently, looking towards the future, not towards the past. This lunation emphasizes the decision-making process between the old and the new. Leaving the comfort zone requires courage and knowing how to adapt to the unknown. The past will be idealized because Neptune is lifting the veil of the ideal of the past and Pluto supports this mirage. But at the same time, we receive the temptation of the new due to the harmonious dialogue with Uranus at this time. In addition, we feel the confrontation of the wound of the past with the rebelliousness to come to an agreement. In no way are we willing to give in on anything. As if that were not enough, Venus at this moment, in conjunction with Saturn, cooperates in the tense dialogue with Jupiter, which proposes an excess of communication with multiple voices and proposals that cause dispersion. And yet, the resolution of this conflict would make us win the future. I propose calm and patience because the pressure of the new is inevitable. The same new moon on the 29th, already in Aquarius, with Pluto and Mercury, leads to fascination and a taste for the new. And Jupiter, at this moment, brings a harmonious dialogue to get it right with its enthusiasm and multiple ideas, inciting towards the new and technology. In addition, the North Node promises an ideal, a utopia if you will, and at this moment, the position of Mars in relation to Saturn seems to show agreements on what is worth preserving and what is not. This last planet is the ruler of the lunation, and in its position in Pisces, it brings us an effort to accept that it is possible to put our imagined reality in order. At times, what we imagine may be too big, and we still suffer from the excesses of Pisces, but we have to try to achieve improvement. Anyway, the essential challenge to overcome is to accept the wound and forgive in order to move on and force us to negotiate being honest with those with whom it is truly necessary. Only in this way we will be able to overcome resentment and anger and paralysis. You can do it.